beautiful.
What am I doing with my life? Hey, I'm Pat, and I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy Rebirth, because despite myself, I find myself interested in what's gonna happen.
What the fuck?
Also, spoilers were starting to pop up for a one-year-old game, and I could hardly be mad about that. And while I'm not done yet, I did enjoy it, and I am enjoying it.
Is that a cat?
Even though every now and then the flow of the whole thing would be interrupted by the seemingly irrelevant adventures of Zack Fair, a guy who I'm sure is cool, but like, that's not who I'm here for. But the game is acting like I should be really interested in this guy and what he has to say, and all I know about him is that Cloud gave him the old identity theft, Jim, and it was very sad. But it still feels like I'm getting punished for not playing all of Final Fantasy VII compilation, but whatever, fine. But then, the actual main story gets started. And you know what? It's interesting when it is talking about the main story. There's stuff happening, and then the enjoyment of playing games within a game. Every time there's a little bit of momentum and I can feel a little bit of the narrative magic creeping onto my soul. The game is like, do you want to do the verb version of glupshitto, glopping and shitting?
Analysis complete.
And God, I'm at Cosmo Canyon now and I'm a little tired. I had to take a break. Hey, you know what? I think this is a little too much game. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of that in the OG FF7 too. I remember grinding out Knights of the Round and Chocobos. But Rebirth has seemingly taken that to the next level. Everyone and everywhere, there's always something for you to do. And I mentioned how multi-talented the characters in the game are. They can do anything. Tifa's piano playing makes a lot of sense, but unless Mako infusions give you the power to play the piano, Cloud just seems like a virtuoso, a natural. Also a top-tier motorcycle dude who can also learn card games, and he can race chocobos? How can the rest of us even compete? That man is excelling in things other people spend entire lifetimes trying to master. He's a true Renaissance man. He does a lot, and you can get away with that in Remake, the first one, because it was new and novel, and, you know, we want to see what changed. I played the hell out of that one, and I didn't find the side stuff annoying. It was paced well. But now the shine's off the apple, and we know the fancy stuff and what you did with Tifa, cool. But now it's like, hey, there's a lot of fun stuff here on the side, but like, it'll commit a fatality on the flow of the game, which annoys me because the main story, I do find it interesting. They do enough things different that make me think things are gonna change. They flesh out parts of the game, such as Tifa being way more into figuring out Cloud's issues and Aerith being more Aerith. Admittedly, my memories of the OG FF7 are very faint, and it was notoriously mistranslated or poorly translated or poorly localized. Either way, you weren't getting the whole picture, or even a clear picture, or even a correct picture. But now the translation is cleaner, and I love that I'm seeing Cloud's dot more.
Sometimes, I don't even know who I am. I forget things everyone else remembers just fine. And know things I've got no right knowing. It's like there's different people inside of me. And the worst part is, I can't even tell where they end and I begin.
I love watching him knowing that the dorky parts of him are coming out, and my boy is healing. It is at this point that I'm briefly reminded of Across the Spider-Verse and the sequel it may never have. I remember thinking that it was overwritten. Funny, at points, but it had so much story to tell. Gwen's finding herself and breaking the so-called canon event. She was the first voice you hear, not Miles, and Miles trying to deal with imposter syndrome because his dad is not dead? Well, thanks, asshole Spider-Man from the future. But it ended at a weird point, where we got the crew from the first movie to hang out again after ostensibly betraying Miles for a little bit as a treat, and started 5 new plot threads instead of, resolving the ones we set up. Part of that is being the middle child in a trilogy, but the point is, it is entirely possible to write too much and have it become a detriment to the story you're telling, and that movie wanted to prove it. That's kind of what I'm having here in FF7 Rebirth. There's not just 2 cakes, I'm drowning in them. It's also kind of like when Elektra was in that season of Daredevil, and yeah, sure, Elodie Young. But also, man, I want to go to the courtroom. I want to see the Punisher's courtroom drama. But then the show was like, no, ninjas. And I also wanted to see that because that was part of the Daredevil experience too. And too many cakes. It feels like there's too much game, there's so much to do, and at some point, it began to feel like so much padding. While interesting and even fun because I would play those games a lot, it does feel like something that is made to extend the game's runtime. Also, stuff like this. As far as I know and tried, none of that is skippable. And there's a lot of stuff like that in this game, but that is a different but related complaint. Keep in mind that the original Final Fantasy came on 3 discs, and a certain super spoiler, Aerith's death, happened at the end of Disc 1. Not at the end of Disc 2, not at the start of Disc 3, Disc 1. Barely a third of the way into the game and the signature scene has happened. There's a lot left to happen, and yet I've already done so much. Now in New FF, I'm deep into the second game of 3 and there's no falling stab in sight. It might not even happen or be resolved, but that'd be a weird thing to leave up in the air for the third game. And it feels like there's still so much left to do, so much stuff. I've started ignoring some side quests already, and it still feels like I'm chewing through the gooey parts of a pizza with a lot. So much cheese. Sure, I love cheese, but I'd like to get to the rest of the pizza too, thank you. It is telling to me, but it feels like Chadley has the most lines in the game. Chadley being the side quest man behind the screen, or man in the chair. And he gets to talk the most too because there's so much side stuff. He's not involved in all of it, but he's involved in a lot of it. And I know, you control the buttons you press. I control the buttons I press. And so for some people, Chadley isn't a voice in their head. But I still do it because even the card game has a mysterious story behind it. Or who knows what good stuff or moments are there. And I want to see them all. With little bits of world building that are super important in a game that's like saving the world. That, by the way, is definitely a character from a previous game. Look at how they're presenting it as if like, you should know who she is. Haha, please clap. And to experience that world, it's the side quests. If the world is unknown to me, I find it difficult to care about saving it beyond the standard, well, I've got the power, and I should at least try to stop the bad guy. I guess in short, I feel like if I'm not doing the side stuff, I feel like, and I fear, I would miss out.
The adapter that your friend made. It's a gift in more ways than you know. He was thinking of your future, of what you might do after the dust settles. Today, you may have no choice but to wield a weapon. But tomorrow, years from now, think about it if you haven't.
That's a damn good moment, and I could have easily missed out on it. Yeah, this is starting to feel like a me problem, but I can't be alone in this. I mean, I think the worst part is that a lot of those side quests, side games, I would play them all day. Give me more Fort Condor, give me more card game, give me more boxing game. Wait, do I want more mobile games? I'm forced to think about whether having so much cake is actually a good thing. I feel like I'm complaining about having too much food while other people starve. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Is this a me problem? Is it a pacing problem? Like they're giving too much game because they need to buy time for the third part? It might be padding, but it's fun padding. Does that make it okay? Isn't the point of games to have fun? And if I'm having fun with FF7's mobile games, isn't that, like, okay? I still feel like there is such a thing as having too much game, especially if it ends up feeling like filler and is paced weird. Like, every area bombards you with stuff to do, or Square punches them in the back of the head. You know what? It kind of feels like an Ubisoft game, doesn't it? Kind of feels like very, very Assassin's Creed-y with all the random stuff on the map that you're compelled to kind of click on. You know what? I don't know. It might be me and my 40-year-old mind, in the back of which sits a clock on my mind shelf because I can't afford a mind palace, ticking away, reminding me that time is running out and I can only do so much no matter how much will or energy I have left. And that I really want to know what they're going to do different in FF7 because there's so much game and I want to experience it all. But, you know, and because I don't know if I'll have time or energy to give it another go around. I don't even know if I'll want to give it another go around. But I do understand that that's not the case for everyone. Some people just want to play one game forever. I had a friend who said, I know what I'm going to be playing this year. And I was like, what? How could that be? There's a lot of bangers coming out. Stardust Abyss, Legend of King, Expedition 33, God, there's probably a ton. It's unreal to me that the idea of someone playing like 3 games in a year and like, I'm good, that's enough entertainment for me. Like, what else do you do? It's not like I don't have a lot to do. I have 16 dogs, only one of which is mine, and like 4 cats to take care of. And I hang out with my wife. And we watch a lot of stuff like Only Murders in the Building. Jesus, I do a lot. I think it's because, and I wrote this as a joke, but it turns out to be a little true, that games are my language, my hyperfixation. Like, they speak to me, and when I want to talk to people, I usually use examples from games, or that's what pops up into my head. Like that guy who has only watched JoJo, and everything is a JoJo reference. Except I'm more of a video games and a dash of literature and TV guy, and only slightly less annoying. So when I haven't played a game for a while, or when I haven't thought about them for a while, it feels like there's a part of my brain that only lights up when there's a mechanic to study, or a narrative trying to tie gameplay to itself. Which is why stuff like this Final Fantasy thing baffles me. I feel like I should be enjoying the thickness of it, and the sheer value, world building, and just the opportunity to hang with these characters for just a little bit longer, because they're cool, especially Barrett.
Tell me I don't look good, like I was born of the bride.
Practically the whole damn town came out to crap on him. Someone tell me why I'm the only one who's pissed here.
I told you, I can take it. There was no saving my arm, so I made a call. Instead of the normal prosthetic, I chose a means to an end.
So while I still think that Final Fantasy Rebirth is ultimately a pacing nightmare, it doesn't detract from the experience too much. I mean, and it probably doesn't for a lot of people. I just needed to take a break from it. It's still a perfectly fine game, certainly one that long-time fans will have a big chance of enjoying. I'm gonna get back to it just because I want to find out what goes down. So I'll get back to that game and play my way through it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for passing by. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. I'm Patinator. I also stream on Twitch, so if you follow me there, I'll see you later.